what it is. Every revolution or every political movement or any kind of change, and having someone, okay, CIA, which is fucking for you to call me CIA when you know I'm not.
Everything was politicized. It was, oh, this is when we became the left versus the right. But both sides are trash. In COVID,
his own thing. So it seems to be that money's the issue, that like we're using money and that's how politics is being pushed. Because now we've seen what someone does when they use their own money, and it doesn't seem to be a solution. So I feel like we take money out of politics, we'll have a much better political system.
Politician, you think they're gonna come out and tell me the truth? They was lying to my mama. They ain't gonna never tell us.
So everybody, we look at certain things just because, oh, this happens in the hood or we see this every day. All the way up. These people were speaking truth. King, we could talk X, we could talk it all. They were speaking truth.
What's going on in anyone's mind, but let's take it as a given that Gray's argument is true, that the argument to not have ID is that it would be discriminatory versus certain socioeconomic brackets or something. It's like
the world's greatest trial run of what people will do and what people won't do. And we are the only country on the planet that really fought against the government. A lot of it,
because you focus on 80-20 issues. I'm looking at the Epstein issue as we have 80% of the information we need to prosecute these people that actually did anything, but you're focusing on the 20% trying to take down Donald Trump, which you're never going to get. So I'm going to keep sitting here with a smug-ass face on every single day.
I'll explain. Good question. I'll give you the answer. The Republican Party constantly talks about transgenders and transgender surgery to minors. The number...
I'm mostly on the left, ideologically, but I don't associate with the Democrats because they're not ideologically on the left. The Democrats are clowns, and they're also losers.
About to be any engaging conversation. It's not about to be any discourse about different political ideologies, what works and what doesn't. If that is the outcome, right? For example, I'm not gonna go and just put myself in the middle of a KKK rally.
Verify me, I'm not a fucking Fed. They always do this. I'll say this, right? But they did the same thing to Nick. We've seen the video. They'll call people who are genuine and authentic Feds because
the interesting thing to me is that the ones that claim that they believe the Constitution are now trampling the Constitution. The ones that said they believed in the First Amendment, the freedom of speech, right, are now going against the freedom of speech.
leadership perspective.
They don't have no plan. They don't never talk about nothing positive about the Democrat Party. Everything is just anti-Trump. They're not willing to have a conversation. They call us fascists. We're willing to have a conversation. Charlie Kirk's willing to have a conversation.
Welcome to the new party. I'm Gray Mars.
Just how America has to operate to protect itself. I say this in so many videos. A sovereign nation's #1 job is to protect its sovereignty and its citizens before you can even get into your economy, your legislation, your policy, whatever else. You have to be protected, because what does it matter that you have the best policy, the best lifestyle, the best culture if somebody can come in and take it? What does it matter? You have to be able to defend yourself. And because we operate in a world, on a globe, where other countries' job is to do the same, and there are limited resources. So people are fighting to get this and for their self-preservation, for their sovereignty, etc. When you have the resources, especially, you have to put yourself in a position to where you can best defend yourself. So for the United States of America, our biggest threats are Russia and China. That is our biggest threat, just like we're their biggest threat. So there's a constant battle of positioning and strategy to protect ourselves and our resources against other superpowers, just like they're doing. America is not wrong for trying to put itself in the best position to defend itself and protect itself. Sometimes it's going to be a little aggressive. That doesn't mean you have to co-sign that. I'm just saying that's just the way the game goes. Because the way a lot of you all talk and think, it seems like to me that you would be okay if somebody just invaded us or somebody just took us over, because you're just like, at least we were nice about it. At least we didn't impede on anybody else. Y'all, all that world peace.
That was fire, Stephen. I'm on the other side of you, but I agree. Good for you for holding your party accountable. Welcome to the new party. I'm Nora Christine. And tonight we have Steve-O, aka Stephen Dingle, as a guest. I'm so excited to have him. Stephen, tell everybody about your platform and where they can find you.
Yeah, absolutely. Always appreciate the new party. You and my guy Mars always having me. But yeah, I'm Stephen Dingle, born and raised in Atlanta, Georgia. I guess you could say my platform is just all things politics, culture, entertainment. Talk about whatever's going on in the world, but more specifically the United States, I'm willing to talk about. So my platform is just open to everyone, no matter what part of the political spectrum you're on, no matter what your ideology, religion, race. I'm willing to talk about everything. So that's pretty much it. And I can be found everywhere as Steve-O, as it's spelled right here, STEVO, zone, and the number 4. Some platforms have the underscore at the end, some don't. But if you just type in Steve-O zone 4, I'll come up, or Stephen Dingle, I'll come up everywhere.
Yeah, and I've seen you reposted on X, so shout out to you. You're growing. I've seen. I don't know if I should have sent you the link, but I have seen you on X. But tonight, everybody, if anyone watching, please tap the screen. Let's get the likes up so we can stay on the For You page. We are going to kick tonight off talking about the FBA conversation. So the first clip we're going to play, Fishback, who's running for governor, went on Tucker Carlson's show, and the FBAs are so excited because pretty much he gave them a shout out. He talked about the tether term. Let's watch it.
Told you a racist for that?
They did. Which is actually quite interesting because I got a call from the Foundational Black American Society here in Florida who reminded me that Byron's mother is Jamaican, he is Panamanian, and they found it quite insulting in their words that he would try to claim victimhood of slavery without a single descendant of American slaves in his family.
I like those foundational guys.
They're so good.
Tariq Nasheed and all. I mean, I don't agree with everything, but they've got a perspective. If your family's been here 400 years and the descendants of a lot of American slaves or families have been here 400 years, I don't know. I think that gives, I'll listen to you. Like you've
100%.
You've got a point of view that is legitimate, I think.
Yeah. And they're unequivocally heritage Americans.
That's for sure.
100%.
I mean, they're definitely heritage Americans, if anyone is. And, someone rolls in from Ghana and gets an MSNBC slot and starts speaking on behalf of black people. It's like, shut up, honey. You've got nothing to do with this.
Right.
That's
Literally.
a fair perspective,
right.
I think.
And so it's good to actually see them call them out for that. That's actually cultural appropriation. Appropriating the struggle of slavery.
I totally agree.
And the struggle of slavery was real. I don't think Republicans ever want to really whitewash that. It's real, right? But for
we're
Byron,
against slavery.
We're against it.
Whether it's in the, West Bank or here or anywhere. Yeah, against it.
And so for Byron's group, his team, to call me and essentially our entire supporting base racists for saying that you're a slave when quite literally you took $45 million. You won't tell us what you agreed to take that money this early in a primary, which is unprecedented. You know this, how unprecedented that kind of money is in an uncontested primary until now. But secondarily, to actually go out and try to gaslight us and think that you're just one of those guys that has been here, since the early 1800s and your family was in the struggle too, you're not. And that's a very interesting term that the Foundational Black Americans use. It's called tether. They're tethering these tethers like Byron Donalds. They come here literally one generation in, and they try to just sit around and act so folksy that we're all part of the same struggle and we're all down on and we need to fight against. No, you just got here, dude. Like the Haitians, like the guys from Ghana who just got here, you don't get to just be a part of our system and then lecture us about how our country went wrong.
Oh, Jesus. So, Steve, I got to ask you, are you FBA? Are you Foundational Black American?
Based on the description, yeah. I am.
So you could trace your mama's mama back to the 1800s to slavery.
Yeah, I've never done it, but as far as I know, to like my great grandparents, yeah, everybody was here.
Okay. So what is your thoughts on that clip? What do you think?
It's just hilarious to me to watch. And I think is Fishback white? Is he? I don't know if he's Jewish, but he's a white man as far as I know.
Allegedly,
But
there's rumors that he's Jewish. And I'm going to get to that because what's funny to me, we'll play another clip and what he has to say about reparations. Because this whole movement started, Stephen, I don't know if you know, because the whole reason of delineating is to say, we got to separate because we want reparations and we got to make it clear who's going to get it and who's not. That was the initial start of all this. And now somehow the reparations got lost, but we still got the term tether because I'm half Jamaican, so I've been called it. But we'll hold on to that as long as we're getting to delineate. What do you think?
Yeah, so just to say two white men, I just want to I want to be correct in their race, but to see two white men discuss it, and it wanted to be Tucker Carlson at that, and for them to, from the language that I've seen from FBA and ADOS people, like they were pretty accurate. So to just watch two people without, I don't know if any black people were in that room, but without any reference point, and them to sound that accurate, or even Tucker as he was hearing the conversation and was almost like figuring out himself, like, yeah, that makes sense. And if I was this, I wouldn't want that. Like, it was just funny watching two white guys like talk through the FBA ADOS conversation.
Gray, what do you think about that conversation?
I think it was a wild conversation. And what I seen is from the FBA people that celebrated on social media saying, "Oh, we made it, we finally got here." And I feel like the issue with what the FBAs are doing is that you're celebrating representation rather than something actual material, actual money, actual reparations. So it's like, it feels like the Republican Party, they say they're not Republicans, but they just attack the Democrats, but they're not technically Republicans. So it seems like they're being kind of controlled by Republican Party. So it seems like that guy was trying to use the FBA on his side to attack Byron Donalds.
Well, I think ADOS is more associated usually with the Democrats and the FBAs are more conservative from what I've seen. But let me play this clip, guys. I got to play the follow-up with a precursor to this. Fishback went on Consuela. She's a representative that really talks about FBA issues on her live. And this is what he had to say.
We have to be able to do politics for Americans. And this is something that we have to tackle. What are your thoughts about that?
Well, that's right. And let's just be completely honest of what Byron Donalds is. Byron Donalds is a tether. He is not an American descendant.
Wait a minute, James. How do you know the term tether?
He is a tether. He is not an American descendant of slaves. So when Byron Donalds cries like he has over the last couple of weeks because I call him a slave to AIPAC, a slave to corporate interest, a slave to the pro-immigration lobby that has hurt every race of Americans, but has also hurt Black Americans who disproportionately work in food, hospitality, leisure, and customer service. He is in no position, has no right to be complaining about me calling him a slave when he has absolutely no direct descendant of slavery in his family. He's from Panama. He's from Belize. His dad's from Jamaica. Irrelevant.
Irrelevant. Here's what I will say. Unequivocally, I do not support reparations in any form. I would not have supported the reparations for Japanese who were interned. I would not have supported reparations for Chinese Americans who were expelled. And I would not have supported reparations and do not support reparations for the descendants of slavery. But here's what I can commit to. I can commit to creating an economic system that works for one group and one group only, and that is American citizens living in the great state of Florida. Consuelo, we have to be very clear about what has happened because of people like Byron Donalds. Last year, he said, quote, "I want anyone from anywhere who wants to come here and work and contribute to come." The problem is that when anyone from anywhere comes here to contribute, they are by definition taking a job that would have gone to someone locally who is a citizen, a job in agriculture, a job in hospitality, a job in customer service. And so if you want to do what's right by our working citizens, you have to stand up to the immigration influx. Now, Byron Donalds supports open immigration because it's good to increase their profits by bringing in cheap third world labor from the Caribbean, from all over the world, from Central and South America, because those people will work for $4 an hour and our people will work for $15 or $20 an hour. Byron Donalds said 2 weeks ago at the University of Florida that we need to have the H-1B visa program, which brings in Indians and Chinese to take our jobs because, quote, our kids are not economically viable. He thinks that our kids are not smart enough, but the Indians and the Haitians, they are smarter than us. And so we have to import them to take jobs away from us. I'll give you just one example. In 2015, he said that we need to use the H-1B visa program to bring in pharmacists.
Oh my God, I got so much to say. First of all, we got to be factual. I don't know who needs to hear this, but slavery didn't end in Jamaica until 1836, or to 1838 to be exact. Full emancipation. So, I mean, technically, Byron could have came from slaves. Now, did he come from American slaves? No. Number one. Number two, I love to point out, he said no reparations for everybody but one group of people. I don't know if y'all caught that. He's like, I don't want reparations for these people, and these people, except for one group. But anyways, Stephen, what do you think?
From what I know about Fishback, is that the only reason that this is a conversation is because he used that word slave to AIPAC or slave to his donors. So because he used that specific language, he's now found a strategy to say like, oh, it's not racial. Oh, I'm not being offensive. He's not even American. Like had he said Byron Donalds is endowed to his donors, then he wouldn't even have used this term. It's just him trying to flip it. The fact that he's catching flack. So like, it's kind of seemed disingenuous to me, and it's strategic, and it seems to be galvanizing, I guess you could say, the ADOS or FBA people in Florida, the people who can vote for him. But for me, I just see the game, and he's just milking this thing because he was catching some flack for using slave in regards to a black man in America.
Welcome to the live, Kamal. What is your thoughts on this conversation? I'm sure you saw the clip of the two white men speaking about Black America, Black immigrants. What's your thoughts?
Which two white men we talking about? Because there's a whole lot of white folks that talk about Black Americans.
Tucker Carlson and Fishback.
Oh yeah. I most definitely talked about that clip. You know,
what do you think?
Talked about it actually on my show. There's a multitude of things. First of all, delineation is on the fucking map. You feel me? Second of all, I know that Fishback or Fishburne, whatever the fuck you want to call his name, I know he using this for clout, you know what I mean? But at the same time, right? People can't be like, oh, this is just an online thing. Nah. Stop the bull jive at this point. Delineation is here to stay. You feel me? Foundational Black Americans is in the building. And yeah. Oh, and we ain't forget either, motherfuckers. We still on reparations. We didn't hear no goddamn policies. That was another thing. Yeah. Tucker Carlson and Fishburne is kikiing ha-ha and calling Byron Donalds a tether, which he is. That motherfucker got some nerve to talk about our Black American reparations, talk about we don't deserve it and all this other shit. So he is a tether. But at the same time, I could call a spade a spade. I could see Berber trying to get clout on it. They didn't talk about no policies that's going to help us foundational Black Americans specifically. Okay? Until they start talking about them cash reparations and the anti-Black hate crime bill, you feel me? I'm kind of saying, yeah, but still pointing like, all right, now let's get to business. What's up with
But
those?
Kamal, don't you think he's kind of a tether? I mean, he's tethering to y'all stuff. Whether he's Black, white, to me, that's tethering to y'all stuff to protect himself. That's even worse. To me, that's equally as bad as Byron.
I'm glad
He's
you
like
said that.
Your thing.
Now I can clarify what a tether means. A tether is somebody that's trying to undermine us while tethering to be like us. The undermining has to happen too.
He's undermining you. He's making your cause be a joke. I'm sorry. He's like, oh, this is so funny. Fishback, it's a joke.
He wasn't. That was Tucker Carlson that was laughing at
He's not coming with tangibles. It's a joke. Think about it.
I called him
Yeah,
out.
he's only defending the word slave. Come on, like he's not using it to, like you said, to create policy or legislation for FBA or ADOS. He's just defending, like, oh, don't the slave. I'm right in using slave because of this. That's all he's saying.
Did y'all hear what I said earlier when I said, motherfucker, I'm still on y'all about policies, and that Fishberg or whatever his name is could be using this as political clout, which I said, but at the same time, we're not going to negate the fact that, look, this delineation movement is not just some online thing. All right, this is here to stay. We're on the main stage with it. You feel me? Hey, you could chew gum and walk at the same time, right? So I see that Fish back. You feel me? I don't think he was joking. Now Tucker Carlson could have been more on the joking-ish, but I think Burr was serious. And the fact that he called Byron Donalds a tether, and tether means that you're undermining us at the same time as you're trying to cosplay us or use our movements to help your shit. You got to be undermining us. You got to show me a clip where Fishback is undermining us. I don't think at this moment, I don't think he's undermining us.
To me, if he's not coming with y'all with tangibles, it's a joke. He's for me. For me, it's a joke. And I just think that, I don't know. Gray, what do you think? I'm gonna let Gray go.
Well, first off, the history of the term tether, they took that from Jordan Peele's movie, the second movie. I forgot the name of it. When it's like the two twin people. Come on, I'm pretty sure.
Us.
Yeah. Us, right. So the two twin people. So they say that the people are trying to cosplay to beat them. I feel like on a big scale, the FBA is, of course, going to say, okay, this is mainstream. They're now talking about this. I agree with Nora that is this actually going to be a political movement? Is this actually going to like put FBA politicians? Like, is this going to be something people really get behind and say, this is the reason why I'm voting, or this is why I'm part of this movement? So is it just a clip that went viral? That's my thought process on it.
You know what's funny with Kamal's statements about, and I know you might have been in jest, you might be dead serious when you're saying Tucker Carlson was more making a joke of it. I think he was actually like,
being more serious
in his head. Like, this concept actually makes sense. Like, he was chuckling, but I think he was listening to Fishback like, let me think about that. If my family was here for 400 years, I'm dealing, like, he was like making sense of it in his head, but he was just laughing because it sounded like he never thought of it before. So I'm saying that's what made it funny to me, that you were being explained to it by a fellow white man. Like, another white man across from you was breaking it down to you. You were like, but I would say, as you know, Kamal, FBA has been loud. It's been extensive, not just online. So for him not here before, it sounded kind of crazy.
Who, Tucker Carlson?
Mm-hmm.
That's why I think he fucking happened. I think he most definitely has heard it before, and I've just found out. And shout out to Dewan B. I just found out that Tucker Carlson actually interviewed Tariq Nasheed.
I have a clip.
So,
I have the clip.
My thing,
and I didn't know that until Nora said, since she said she had a clip. I didn't know that.
And this is my thing. That's why I think Tucker Carlson, these motherfuckers be knowing, and then they play dumb. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm thinking, look, Tucker Carlson, you feel me? I still think that he probably was more on the jokey side, even though it probably was processed like, because he's been known to do a lot of shit like that. I mean, he was up there fucking caping for white men, said that in the last decade, white men have been oppressed the most. Up at, Nora, you was just at that event. What was that event again?
Turning Point.
Turning Point.
Camp Fest.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I never can really take Tucker Carlson serious like that.
Well, I'm going to play the clip. And for me, Tucker is not running for a position of power, but Fishback is. And so what's he going to do for the Black community, the foundational Black community of Florida? Because let me give you guys some history, and I'm going to be real fast. The history of Florida is foundational Black people have been run out of Florida, in particular Miami, by immigrants. So I will give you that. So what are you going to do for foundational people in Florida? So, I mean, and not just give words, but let me play this clip. This is the interview.
Joins us now to explain. Tree, thanks a lot for coming on the show. Thank you so much for having me, Tucker. Oh, of course. This struck me when I read it as a pretty cowardly thing for you to say for a bunch of reasons, but mostly because it's so imprecise. You don't spell out what you mean. You say that that's interesting. Why is that interesting? Would it have been better if this guy, the murderer, had continued to hack people with a butcher knife? Is that what you're saying? What are you saying?
No, I'm saying, Tucker, what's cowardly is to make up a false narrative that I didn't say or even imply by saying that I was not impressed or I was dissatisfied with the police's work. And basically, that tweet was very vague. It was very neutral. It was basically a statement. It wasn't even my opinion. So for you to start off the segment saying that it was cowardly, that's disingenuous.
To explain yourself, and I'm asking you, what did you mean by that? Is the guy,
and I'll be glad to do that.
who shot this guy a hero, or isn't he?
I'll be glad to answer that, but I don't want to do the false narrative thing because that's just very disingenuous, and I like to bring truth
just
to
answer
power.
the question.
Now let me explain what I meant. Yeah. Okay. No, I didn't think that the guy was wrong for what he did. The guy was a hero. The comment wasn't meant to racialize the actual shooting and the event itself. When that happened online, there were a lot of people who played the race card, and the minute they found out who the suspect was, they kept talking about Black Somalian, then they started talking about Black Lives Matter, then they started talking about Obama, then they racialized it. So
I'm sorry. So there's only so much I can take. I spent all afternoon listening to your podcast, which is the most racialized.
And so he had to have heard about it.
And not which is not true.
The fact that he listened to it.
What year was that?
Probably like, I would say the 2018, 2019. Definitely pre-COVID.
Like 2018. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
2019. Hey, can I comment to somebody in the chat? Hey, 7D Media One, the Fishback, he's not our representative though. You feel me? I agree with you. You feel me? We should put up our own representative. Just because he has our talking points, and that's what I was saying, just because he's saying the talking points, the tether, foundational Black American, that don't mean shit. If they're not talking policies, then it's like, yo, you preaching to the fucking choir. And at the same time, we have to realize they're talking to their white audience. I think this is good because they're talking to them about it. So now Becky in the kitchen with Karen gonna be saying, oh, I heard on Tucker Carlson about foundational Black America. She's gonna be like, oh, what's that? And they gonna start educating themselves about certain shit because for damn sure they ain't coming into our spaces like that, trying to get educated on what foundational Black American is. And if the only whites that come in there doing that shit be trolling. And most time they on meth, so they ain't gonna remember the next day. All right, so that's how I kind of feel about the clip. I see both sides of the fence, and I'm calling out Fishback, you know what I mean, on him trying to get political clout, but at the same time, he's putting the conversation in the lexicon, and it's not no like, oh, this is just some online shit. This is just
right.
No,
he didn't say it in a disrespectful way for you, so you're happy that it's being talked about.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, this is for me what I think politicians do to the Black community, all Black people, Black immigrants, Black Americans. They find a cause, they tether. I'm gonna use the word tether onto it, and then they use it for clout, and then they give no tangibles ever. The only tangibles Black people have ever seen in this country, in my opinion, has nothing been since the civil rights. Nothing. Everybody else gets stuff. The LGBTQ people, everybody else. And so for me, I don't think you guys should be celebrating this, but to each his own. I think it should be, hey, if you're not going to give us something, hate crime bill, like you said, Kamal, something, I don't want you using the term. We need to put an end to it. But that's just me, because just like we're calling out the Democrats for doing it, it's the same thing.
You talk about the word tether?
No, just the whole conversation. What is he going to do for Black foundational people, since he's delineating for everyone? What is he going to do for Black foundational people of Florida? I haven't heard it. Go ahead, Steve.
You know, on the flip side of this, because he is running for governor of Florida, and I don't know the demographic numbers, but just how you talked about South Florida, we know there is
majority is us immigrant, and that's the funny part.
Right. So is he exiting out that constituency?
For me, I don't want to vote.
We're talking about winning Black Americans over.
Yeah, I don't want to vote for him. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't even like Byron Donalds. I do think he's a form of a slave. We're really going to be honest. He is a slave to the Israel lobby. But I don't want to vote for him at this point because he is now exited out. Because two things: one, I don't like him using the terms, and two, what tangibles are you going to bring? If he's saying tangibles, I would still vote for him. That's where I'm at.
My question is this: is FBA a form of white supremacy because it is based on racial hierarchy?
No, it's a damn lineage. Come on, Greg. Let's not act. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. You know it's not a form of white supremacy. It's a lineage, bro. Come on, let's not do that. Let's not do that.
Any form of saying that any race is better than another is a form of some type of supremacy, because it's like,
who's saying that?
The dictionary.
What? No. What foundational Black American is saying this race is better than this race? Who's saying that?
All the time. They put down us immigrants, us whatever, all the time. I'm sorry.
Who? Y'all gotta let me know.
Steve, you tell us what you think.
Okay, because we all know there's a difference between these organizational forms. So, like, I guess Tariq Nasheed, is he the leader of FBA? And is
I think so.
Cornell is the leader of ADOS. So you have those leaders, but then when you think about the people who do just decide to represent themselves or identify as, I don't generally hear people saying, because I'm ADOS FBA, I'm automatically better. I do hear it as more delineation. Now with Cornell and Tariq Nasheed themselves as the upper leader, I'm saying whatever you want to call them, their rhetoric may get a little crazy, but generally speaking, people who simply identify as, I don't hear supremacy as much as I do just delineation. We're walking around the party and you pull out your Jamaican flag and your Panamanian flag, like that's you're just like, you automatically delineated. Like, I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. You got a different country's flag, regardless of what we look like, our cultural
but Steven,
where we align, you already delineated.
Do you consider Black immigrants Black, or are they just something else?
No, they're Black. That's fine with me. I'm not one of those people who are concerned with who's Black.
There are FBAs that don't believe that. That's
correct.
That's the issue.
But
it's 43 million of us. We're all gonna have different ideologies.
I understand the delineation though. Like, when you see somebody in the Olympics who's representing the United States of America, and they went, I'm just throwing around, I'm not using a real life situation, but they run for the United States of America, they win a track meet, but then they say, like, this person, like Nora, say you won a race in the Olympics, you represent for the United States, but then there's like, she's Jamaican.
Yeah.
Like, they may just acknowledge that you're half Jamaican or whatever. That simple thing is just like, okay, she's a Jamaican American. So when they say, but some people may reference you as Black American because you are Black American, but it's just like, there is a difference. So if you just say, hey, Nora won this track meet, she's Black American, but then we know you're Jamaican, and then some people may say, no, she's Jamaican American. It just, I see your point. Say, no, this is called Nora Jamaican American. Let's call this person Black American. They're all Americans. They're all Black, but just so we know the difference.
Can I ask y'all a question? Is Jesse Jackson the leader of African Americans?
No.
He coined the term.
Yeah, I don't think there is.
Tariq Nasheed.
Yeah. Right.
That's all we keep saying. If we telling y'all this is the lineage, and then we all be like, well, Tariq Nasheed is the leader. Well, damn it, at this point, Jackie Chan, the leader of fucking Chinese people, all right? We gonna play that game. Rosie Perez, the leader of Puerto Ricans.
Come on, you're the leader. How about that?
You're my African Americans. It's like,
you're
come on,
the
we gotta
FBA leader of the new party. You're the FBA leader of the new party.
Nora, I don't want to be no leader. You know what they do to our leaders? They be murking our leaders. I be damn if I'm a leader. I am a civilian, y'all. I'm a regular person.
Oh
the only thing that I really don't like about the discussion is when any party, whether it be, immigrant or non-American black folks or black folks, just act like delineation is separation. Like it's just delineation, but that doesn't mean I'm against you. Doesn't mean you're against me. So I don't like it when I'm coming from either direction. Like, and I keep referencing the flag because that's just a normal thing you see. You talk to a Haitian, there'll be a Haitian flag back here if I was Haitian. Like they are proud about it. So I'm saying that's a form of delineation. So just by people creating identification, I don't like people are like, you're so separatist, you're divisive. I'm like, we're just doing the same thing in a different version. When nobody's saying we're against you or we're not all black. Well, I'm some people are, but for me, I just hate when it gets to that discussion as if somebody's being divisive by identifying a certain way. That just
Steven, you know what's wild about what you're saying? I feel like we the last to the fucking party of delineation. Everybody
that's a fact. It is. That's true.
White folks delineate from each other. Asians delineate from each other. Black people that came over here, they delineated from us, and we were the last to the fucking party. And now everybody is like, "Why are you in this fucking party?" That shit. I
agree with that.
Just saying.
Steve, are you gonna stay for the whole show, or are you gonna wrap up and do your closing thoughts?
I'm here, however y'all need. How long is the whole show? I'm sorry.
We're probably gonna go till 9:30 tonight, or you can stay as long as you want. So just trying to know so I can know when you want to do your closing thoughts. You can just message me when you want to do them in the private chat.
We can go to 8. I'm good till 8:30.
Okay, so I'm gonna switch gears here and bring up the rest of our cast and do the intro now, guys. Okay, guys, tap the screen. Let's get the likes up. We are gonna switch gears here. I know you guys came for this story. Should Pam Bondi be fired? Welcome to the conversation, Kimberly. We're going to do our intro now, so I need everybody to tap the screen. Also, at the end of the show, for everyone watching, we are doing a fundraiser, so we will have more about that towards the end of the show, so stick around and listen to that. Here we go.
Disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed on this panel show are those of the individual speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of this channel, its affiliates, sponsors, or production team. This content is intended for informational and entertainment purposes only. Viewer discretion is advised. We encourage respectful dialogue and critical thinking around the topics discussed.
Party. Why I like the new party? Number one, it's a group of people that's on a panel. We all have differences, but we all basically still come together at the end of the day. The new party for me is about unity. The new party for me is about educating people to the truth, letting people know what's been going on in our country. With that being said, shout out to the new party, man. We're going to keep it going with y'all.
Welcome to the new party, everybody. So, guys, for those of you now just joining the chat, thank you for watching. Please hit the like button. Shout out to Pizza. Shout out to John. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to Pretty Things. We appreciate you guys for coming. Everybody has questions about what FBA means. It means Foundation of Black American. You can start the live over to see what we talked about, but we are going to switch gears and talk about Pam Bondi, guys. So, as we kick it off, I'm going to play this clip as a recap to catch us up to speed with the ICE protests and attacks. Let's see what the last week has been like.
Why don't you help
out of my way! Get out of my way! Move! 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 Get out! Come here!
Rather be at home smoking weed. Yes. But why can't you be smoking weed right now? Because goddamn Nazis! Goddamn Nazis! And how long do you plan to be out here? Oh, we're actually headed back to the car. Yeah.
You guys are fucking retarded. Know that?
Oh man, so I had to play the weekend that we've seen. I needed to catch everybody up to see what our ICE agents are up against, because I gotta set the parameter for tonight. The question we are asking everybody, and I'm about to put the poll up: should Pam Bondi be fired? Steven, you weren't here with us last week. What is your thoughts on the unfortunate shooting that happened in Minnesota and the protests against the ICE agents?
Woo! My thoughts on that are, first of all, it's unfortunate. First and foremost, extremely unfortunate. With the details that I've seen and what I personally know, it's just tough. I feel like I need to see a longer video of before, but I gotta give a general opinion that goes to that personal one. I'm just not understanding Americans really getting involved with an agency that wants to take away illegal immigrants. Like, I just can't fathom me as an American seeing ICE and just being like, I gotta get involved. Like, I want them to do everything legally. I want them to operate by the book, of course. But as an American, I just don't understand that narrative. So I'm not trying to blame her for anything. I'm just saying that thought process is always tough for me to kind of like try to put myself in those shoes. But I do want to be clear, it's extremely unfortunate.
You muted, Nora.
It is extremely unfortunate, but unfortunately, to your point, this is what the ICE agents have been going up against. So I need to set the stage for this, and I'm going to let Enzo get in here because Enzo does the lives. For all year, we've been seeing ICE agents be attacked. All year, there's multiple clips. That's just one weekend of events that I'm showing you. So Enzo, what's your thoughts? Because this is a buildup, and this is why I'm talking about Pam Bondi tonight.
So my opinion on this entire situation is people need to mind their fucking business. They need to stay at home. They need to go be parents. They need to go to work, go do something else instead of obstructing law enforcement officers conducting their job. Cool. You want to protest? Stand on the side of the road. Stay over there. Don't park your car diagonally across the street. I've been saying it from the beginning since this all started. I go, this is going to escalate to a point where people are going to be dead. People are going to die. It's either going to be ICE agents or it's going to be civilians that are going to be unalive because of all this. And here we go. We have a perfect example of it. And people are over here crashing out and talking about the situation only because it's an ICE officer. That's it. You had a protester last night who was struck by a Tennessee state trooper. No one's talking about that. Protesting ICE. No one's talking about that. We're still over here talking about Renee Good like she was this upstanding citizen and that she did nothing wrong and that this is all ICE's fault. The precedence has already been set. If people would mind their business and not attack law enforcement, this wouldn't have happened. If people minded their business and didn't show up at ICE facilities trying to free these people, none of this would happen. If people weren't dumb enough to start shooting at ICE facilities, none of this would happen. None of these officers would have been on guard. If all that would have happened and she still would have did what she did, I guarantee you she wouldn't lost her life. She probably would have got away and they probably would have arrested her for it. But the precedence has already been set there for them to use lethal force of somebody who's trying to actively hurt them.
Yeah, but for me, where I'm at is I put it on Pam Bondi. Pam Bondi should have been cracking down on the protesters that are becoming violent. And we're going to talk about Pam Bondi's record tonight. We won't talk about the protesters. We'll talk about her record to be respectful. But where I'm at is Pam Bondi has failed. And we're going to look into that. This first clip right here that we're going to play, it shows her testifying and spying on senators from what we found out.
May I ask you a question?
If I can answer it, yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Are you going to hold a separate hearing on your whistleblower account of the FBI investigation of 8 United States senators?
I think we need, my answer to your question is, I think we need to wait until we see what the FBI can report and whether it's necessary to have a hearing. Right now, I haven't ruled one out, but I haven't made a decision.
And what year do you think that will happen in?
I want the FBI to be a thorough investigation of it and report to us what information they can give us, and I don't know how long that'll take them.
With respect, are you giving them a certain period of time?
I have not given them a certain period of time. I'll discuss that matter with my staff and see if that needs to be done.
Okay, if civil suits are filed against the perpetrators at the FBI, will that facilitate your investigation?
Well, what's the question again?
If the 8 senators who were spied upon sue the hell out of the Department of Justice and the perpetrators involved, will that facilitate their investigation and or yours? I guess what I'm getting to is I don't understand why we don't have a separate hearing. I find this breathtaking.
It's just been 24 hours since the FBI investigated on it. Please give me an opportunity to sort.
So Kimberly, now that we hear she's been spying on the Department of Justice, who she's controlling, she's over spying on Americans. What's your thoughts? Do you think Pam Bondi should be fired?
The oversight hearing was for, can you explain that again?
So pretty much that they're talking about 8 senators, which are American citizens, have been spied on by the Department of Justice. That has come out. They're saying that she's over that. They're holding her accountable. And that was what that clip was for.
And that but back to, you think she should be fired because she's not strong enough on the protesters?
Oh, 100%. Yes. When the insurrectionists stormed the Capitol, right?
Mm-hmm.
They got
the rioters
10 years. They got 5 to 10 years.
They were over.
Why are these? Well, they were over prosecuted, but maybe that's what it's going to take because people are losing their lives now. ICE agents are getting hurt. That guy that was involved, that poo-pewed that woman, he was dragged 30 feet a few months ago. So where I'm at right now is if you don't have determined, if you don't have any type of like prosecutions or punishment for these people, there's no stopping them. And this is where we're at. People are getting hurt. People are dying right now. And it's not all just on the ISIS part. There has to be some accountability on these protesters. And the reality is these protesters, a lot of them are being paid. They're being told to go to these places. They're being told to flick with these ICE agents. And tinfoil hat time, I wouldn't be surprised if that woman and her wife were told to do what they did. I don't think they thought she was going to get shot in the face, if we're going to be point blank. But I don't think it's right what happened to her. I think that was an overreach of what he did was overreach. I will say that. But at the same time, for months, they've been messed with. And that's why I'm blaming Pam Bondi, because Pam Bondi should be putting her foot down and she should be prosecuting to the full extent of the law. Okay. People need to go sit in timeout. They need to go calm down. They want to go and flick with the ICE agents. They want to stop federal investigations. That's the punishment, the full extent of the law. Yes, I do think so at this point.
I think she should be fired because she's like one of the dumbest people I've ever seen in my life. If Pam Bondi can pass the bar, anybody can pass the bar. Honestly, please, like, take that as some type of encouragement. I know that a few months ago she was trying to say that hate speech and free speech are 2 different things, and then she went super woke and said she was going to start prosecuting people for hate speech after the Charlie Kirk assassination. That alone just tells me that she probably didn't pay attention in law school. With regards to her not prosecuting well, I guess you could call them now rioters, I could see both ways. I think we need to hold people who are putting themselves or in between, not just ICE agents, but law enforcement, putting themselves and others at risk, or but alike, I think we need to hold all police accountable for use of excessive force. So on both sides, I could see that as well. And then also with regards to her alleged Department of Justice spying on 8 citizens.
Senators, to be specific.
Okay. I am all for that. I think we should be consistent. Obama was also spying on the Trump campaign in 2016, and on and on and on. I have so many examples of just overreach and abuse of power from people in the government. There's so many different factions in the government, and they all want a bigger piece of what they already have at the expense of us and the laws. They're all breaking the law. I think if she did do that illegally, she should be held accountable. I think anybody in the government who is illegally surveilling or spying on anybody without a warrant should be held accountable as well.
No, I agree. That's a fair take. And to Kimberly's point, I'm going to play this clip and let the fellas get in here. So Kimberly, this clip is from, what happened to it? Let's see what they have to say about no arrests.
During Merrick Garland's first year as Attorney General, that he had arrested and prosecuted and charged over 335 political opponents, and yet Pam Bondi, to this day, her first year in office, has arrested 0. 335 to 0. Check this out. So I want to talk about this tweet that was just shared by Elon Musk, and it's from Wall Street Apes. And it's going to be a long video because I got to go over the number of Democrats that have been arrested under Republican-controlled government. So we'll start with the list. Name number 1 is nobody. Okay, now the long part. Let me get into the amount of Republicans who were arrested under the Biden administration in his first year. Donald Trump, Waltine, Carlos D'Arliano, Stephen K. Bannon, Peter Navarro, Thomas Brocker, Matt Grimes, Rudy Giuliani, Mark Meadows, John Eastman, Kenneth Chesebro, Sidney Powell, Jenna Ellis, Scott Graham, Sean Gull, Dave James, and honestly, I'm going to be here for the next 15 or 20 minutes because that's the entire list. Those are all the names, and that doesn't account, let me remind you on this. This doesn't account for the 265 January 6th defendants that were already arrested within the first year of the Biden administration. So please forgive me if I'm not jumping on the, oh, it's all the Democrats' fault bandwagon. Please forgive me if I'm not jumping on the, just give Pam Bondi a little bit more time bandwagon. Please forgive me if I'm not jumping on the, Dan Bongino went into the FBI and he came in there, he tore the place apart, he dismantled it from down to the last little bolt, and he put every screw by hand back together. And now the FBI is this uncorruptible organization. And my, oh my, how Dan Bongino is going to come back to the political podcasting realm just to be the MAGA police. And he's going to get rid of all those black pillars, and he's going to guarantee a W for Republicans in the midterms, because that's what democracy looks like, folks. This is it. This is the golden ages, baby, so they keep telling us. Let me know what you guys
I totally forgot that she should be fired for mishandling the Epstein files. I totally forgot about that.
We'll get to there. Gray, what do you think about the fact that nobody's been arrested? This has been MAGA's thing. Where are the arrests? Every day, there's people on Xing. Today is January 13, 2026, and no one has been arrested yet. What do you think? Is anyone going to be arrested?
I mean, MAGA is right there in black and white. What more do you need to see? The Republicans are being prosecuted because they're corrupt. The Democrats are not. It's right there in front of your face. The guy just showed you. So, I mean, like, do we really need more evidence? People are saying in comments, Republican crime syndicate. And then basically, I understand what Republicans want to defend the state and want to defend authority because you want things structured. But you also have to look at what people are doing and what the laws say. And that's why we have 3 branches of government. You had a judicial branch, an executive branch, and a legislative branch. It is completely out of context for the executive branch to be commenting on open cases. So that's why you're seeing all this stuff happen. The Democrats are able to get evidence and everything black and white, and that's why you're seeing it going through the judicial branch rather than just hoopla being said on social media. Is real evidence coming from the Democrats.
Stephen, I know you have to go soon. What's your thoughts on this?
The Pam Bondi, AG Pam Bondi, I try to respect people's titles. again, it's one of those things where I got to be expansive. We all know President Donald Trump appointed people like that would do his will. And I think what he's done with the Attorney General's office, not even with Pam Bondi, the previous one as well, is he's really transformed this position to do his will and not strictly search for justice in general. And Pam Bondi is clearly only going to do whatever Trump says or not do whatever Trump says she better not do. And for that, I would say she needs to be fired. But if she is, Trump's just going to replace or try to get someone else appointed to maneuver the exact same way. So it's just, I just can't believe America has gotten to this point. And I don't think we're going to see someone, at least in this position, who's responsible to just search for justice every step of the way until Trump is out of office. So with Pam Bondi, yeah, I'm disappointed in her too, but I don't have high expectations for her whatsoever. And everybody knows the Epstein files are just, you can just go off that alone, let alone the zero arrest and all that. You can just go on that alone. The fact that she came out and said they're on her desk and all this and that, and then nothing, that alone you can go. So, hey.
Stephen, go ahead and do your closing thoughts.
Yeah, with the new party, I always appreciate you, Nora, Gray, Mars, and the whole team. I appreciate you all. And look, I'm gonna end it just how I started the video when you played that clip. That I'm a patriot, I'm an American, and I want to see our country do well. And I think that starts with all of us being able to have conversations, no matter how we think ideologically or politically. As long as we know that we're all in it to see our fellow neighbor and fellow American do well, then we can have a conversation about anything without disrespect. Without, I ain't gonna say without argument or debate. That's part of the game. But as long as we want to see each other do well, and we all want to live to a certain standard where we're all safe, can raise our children safely, and have access to the best education, healthcare, blah, blah, blah. But that's what I'm about. The new party, you all are definitely about that, inviting different guests from different ends of the political spectrum, and that's why I love this platform. And I'm always going to show up whenever you call, even if I want to get something off my chest and say, hey, I want to come on next Tuesday, next Wednesday, let me on. But I appreciate you all, and I'm always glad to be here.
This was great, Stephen.
This
was great. Yes. I've seen the growth in your content. I'm so glad we met you. So anytime you want to come on, let us know. We are here Monday through Thursday, so you know how to find us. But thank you for coming, Stephen.
Appreciate it, brother.
Nice meeting you.
All love. Appreciate you all. Have a good one.
Have a good night. All right, guys. So this goes to the next point. Going to Kim, you brought up something. I don't know what happened to my clips, but this is The View. It's a good clip on The View because The View is actually against her.
You guys are gonna love me. I hate The View.
You do?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm sorry. Do you like The View?
My favorite show.
Did I hate?
No, I hate that show.
Oh, that's the worst show ever.
But this is a good clip because Whoopi actually is on anti-censorship. Here we go.
Backlash from several prominent conservatives over her comments about free speech in the wake of Charlie Kirk's assassination. Take a look.
There's free speech and then there's hate speech. And there is no place, especially now, especially after what happened to Charlie in our society.
Do you see more law enforcement going after these groups who are using hate speech and putting cuffs on people so we show them that some action is better than no action?
We will absolutely target you, go after you if you are targeting anyone with hate speech, anything. And that's across the aisle.
So this morning, apparently, she clarified that she was talking about hate speech that leads to political violence.
Wow.
Now, there's no one that I know who thinks political violence is any kind of acceptable way to do anything.
Yes.
But Bondi is
thinking
blurring
that
the
too.
lines when it comes to
I can't
what
believe it. I want the
constitutes
pedophile.
hate speech, I think. And I just want to say, I always thought that this administration campaigned on ending the weaponization of free speech. So I know
I'm serious.
there's
I
a
want
lot
Matt
of stuff
Gaetz.
people say that I don't like. I don't like it. But as an American, I have the right to say I don't like it. And they have the right to say it. I will fight for their right to say stuff I don't like, because I will say stuff they don't like, and I don't want them up my behind about it either. So I don't understand.
Well, and I mean, it's important she clarified it because that was a complete misstating of the First Amendment. And you sort of
just kind of quoted Voltaire there. There's a famous quote, well, that's attributed to Voltaire. I disapprove of what you say, but I will defend to the death your right to say it. That is what the First Amendment is all about. It's actually hate speech that is the most protected speech.
Yes.
The right to offend people in the public square. And listen, Donald Trump energized a lot of young people by running and campaigning.
So Kamal, I think you're for like free speech, right? Do you think that that she's anti-free speech? Do you think we should be concerned as Americans having her as the AG?
Man, she sounded anti free speech, but hey, free speech is like that one chick said on The View. You got the right to say whatever the F you want, to offend people, say what the hell you want. Shit, we getting offended right now by Mike Anderson. Here, you see his comment? If you ain't old enough to remember the Gulf War, I'm not listening to you. Well, take your old ass somewhere then. Shit, free speech right there. You ain't gotta listen to us because I'm not old enough to remember the goddamn Gulf War. You feel me? So is she anti-free speech? Possibly. Hey, my thing is, how the hell she ain't arrest nobody though? She done did a worse job than the mall cop, Paul Burt. At least he arrested somebody at the end of the damn movie. God damn, she zero arrest? None? Goodness. Well, maybe she is doing her job. I don't know. Shit.
Enzo, as the Republican on the line, should we fire Pam Bondi and why, to your point?
Yeah. I've been saying it for months. We should get rid of Pam Bondi. We could start with not even just the no arrest. I'm going to go with the indictments that were put out there. What happened to Letitia James? What happened to Comey? Those are open shut. Letitia James, she charged Donald Trump with exactly what she was doing. How could we not get a conviction on that? How could we not even get that to court? Oh, because they had a technicality. Who they appointed to be on that case, the prosecutor in that case. Pam Bondi, you should have fucking known this. You should have known exactly every tactic the Democrats were going to throw at them. Also, yeah, sure, throw in the fucking the Epstein debacle. If she would have just shut her mouth and said they're on my desk, we wouldn't even be in this fucking mess that we are. I don't even think really anybody would care until Pam Bondi said it, because Donald Trump never even said he was going to release the files to begin with. She had to open her mouth with that. What else? Being harsher on a lot of people, cracking down on certain things like she did, and she hasn't done anything. She's on Fox News more than she's in her office. Like, what are you doing? You haven't done anything. And even Donald Trump is at this point where he's fed up with her performance too. It's just literally a matter of days until he fires her. Like this, we literally had weaponization of the DOJ for 4 years under Biden. Yeah, they had 300 arrests. They had 300 indictments that went out. Now let's look at convictions. What did they get those people with? Oh, the majority of them? Oh, tax evasion. That's what they got them with. Not corruption, not collusion, tax evasion. That's what they got them on. That's why Rudy Giuliani got his bar taken away. That's why who's the other one? The big one. The whole Russian collusion stuff. That's what they got all those people on. This is not about corruption. The real corruption's out of office already. It's either Pam Bondi sucks at her fucking job, and that's why there hasn't been any arrests so far, or they're actually investigating it, so it's a watertight deal when it comes through. My hopes on that, and is my bet on that? Absolutely not. I'm just going to say she's fucking incompetent and get her out of office. So.
And this clip, I want to show you guys how bad it is regarding Pam Bondi and the Epstein files. Like, nothing is going to be done. Let's watch. It's really quick.
That's been a directive by President Trump.
Sorry, guys. Here we go.
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump. I'm reviewing that. I'm reviewing JFK files, MLK files. That's all in the process of being reviewed because that was done at the directive of the president.
So pretty much they're saying less than 1% of the files have been released. Gray, we covered a lot of Trump's speeches. I can't find it, but I know I heard it. Did Trump ever talk about the Epstein files in his speech? Am I crazy, or did we see him talk about it?
I can't say that for a fact that Trump said that. But there's a viral video there on TMZ where Trump just got called out for protecting a pedophile, and he flicked the guy off. So it's obviously getting to Trump. So I'm not for a fact sure that Trump said that or not. So I'm not gonna put that on Trump. But as far as him firing Pam Bondi, I don't think it's a good idea. Trump's first administration, he was firing someone every week. It was completely chaotic. People were just like, Trump has zero control. Trump approval rating is now 36%. I feel like the people Trump has around him now at least attempt to try and like say, Trump, that's not good, or let's do this. If he gets rid of her and gets somebody that's just gonna listen to him, it'll be way, way, way worse.
Kimberly, you shook your head. Didn't Trump say this is going to be the most transparent administration ever? And he talked about the Epstein files, but they scrubbed the internet. You can't find no clips. I know what I heard.
He did, and on the campaign trail, and he talked about JFK files too. And then when they asked him about it again, like 4 months ago, that was him backtracking and taking back what he had said about the Epstein files. And he said, similarly, JFK, he said, we don't want to implicate people. It might implicate people who are still alive or something like that. It was really stupid. But no, you're not crazy. I remember that.
He never mentioned releasing the files.
Yes, he did. He was asked about it.
It was asked one time. I've gone through hours and hours and hours of footage from his campaign rallies, from his interviews on the campaign trail. I can find one single time that he was asked about the Epstein files. That was the only mention of the Epstein files on his campaign trail, was the ABC interview where they asked him, are you going to declassify the JFK files? Yes. The MLK files? Yes. The RFK files? Yes. What about the Epstein files? Yes. I don't know. Maybe we'll have to take a look at that. That's the only mention of it, and he never gave a definitive yes if he was going to release them, and he never said, when I become president, like he did with the JFK, RFK, and MLK, that when I become president, I will release the Epstein files. Never said that on the campaign.
And why is so many MAGA turning their back on him then, Enzo?
Because he filled his cabinet with a lot of Epstein file, like Dan Bongino and Kash Patel.
They're the ones
who
you talked
hard
about.
on Epstein. So
Yeah.
he was throwing a lot of like dangling carrots, and he implied it more than
They're
once.
the
He
ones-
never
they're
said
the
it out,
ones who
but
said
he
it,
did
though.
imply it more than once on
Okay.
the campaign trail and at the beginning as well. Like when Pam Bondi said she had it on her desk, and then they sent a bunch of influencers to the White House and gave them a binder full of things that we already had. So yeah,
she fucked up.
Yeah,
That's her.
Well, she works for him.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's her. She could have shut her mouth until everything was complete and ready to go. That's her
And-
fault, not his.
I mean,
She's
we
not
have
responsible.
another Republican here that talks about Pam Bondi's job on the Epstein files, Tucker Carlson. Let's see what he had to say.
But how can you say that thousands of children were raped, but I'm not going to find out who raped them?
Yeah.
How can you say that?
I agree completely.
They said that. By the way, when Pam Bondi went on television and said, I have a videotape of kids getting abused, I followed this case closely, and I know a lot of the people involved, as I told you.
Mhm.
I had no idea. I didn't know that. Really? Thousands of children got raped?
Yeah.
Who raped them? Where are the rapists? Like, why aren't they in jail? What? This
For
is the
life.
Department of Justice.
Yes. Yes.
That is so crazy. This is honestly one of the craziest things I've ever seen in my entire life. And I just think it's very dangerous to play around with this stuff. Like, very dangerous.
Well,
I don't want a revolution, but if you wanted a revolution, this is how you would act.
Yes, yeah.
But how can you say that thousands of
Oh Lord. So Kamal, as somebody that's apolitical, what's your thoughts on Pam Bondi? Should she be fired?
Yeah, I've been sitting here. First of all, hey, y'all in the chat, y'all funny, man, because it was hella Enzo, you just got done speaking, and then somebody in the chat is, we have just found another libtard station. I'm like, Enzo, he's not
What?
right. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, bro, people in the chat to say anything, bro. It's like, God damn. But is Pam Bondi a DEI hire?
I think so.
Uh-oh. You know, Trump was
Bring the
cutting
white
DEI.
man. I want a white man. Bring the white man. Time to bring the white man.
Let me confirm exactly. He has some type of a connection. I can't remember exactly right now off the top of my head. I wish I was smart enough to remember things like that. But she was hired for a very specific reason. She was also linked to another case because she's from Florida.
Trayvon Martin.
Yeah, I'm gonna get back to you guys on that one because there's
What's she gonna do with Trayvon Martin?
I don't know about Trayvon Martin, but there was another case.
Look it up.
Maybe you're right. I just know that she was connected to fraud in the state, and that's another conversation for another day. I don't feel like getting into her because I was researching for the show. So yeah, that's the connection I saw. The criticism of her, allegedly, that was the criticism I found, and yeah.
Yeah, she was the AG who helped bring in a special outside prosecutor in the Trayvon Martin case.
Yeah, sorry, that one's smarter than you.
I was pregnant during that time. I had pregnancy brain. I wasn't focused on the case, but and I didn't want to hear about it being pregnant. It was kind of like traumatizing. It was right up the road from where I lived at the time.
I was a freshman in high school at that time. I wasn't paying attention to politics.
So wait a minute. So all of us on the panel except Gray says that Pam Bondi should be fired, correct?
Yes, except the Democrat. Blame the Democrat.
But Gray just thinks she shouldn't be fired because then it would be messy, right?
My thought process on her being fired is Trump's first administration. Look at Trump's first AG, Jeff Sessions. Jeff Sessions was a known racist. He was a senator in Alabama. All of this crazy stuff with Jeff Sessions. I did not like Jeff Sessions at all. I hated that Trump picked this person. Then Trump had a massive fallout with Jeff Sessions. And I was like, okay, great. Then Trump went on to get Bill Barr, and Bill Barr would later on turn on Trump. So MAGA shouldn't want that either because Trump has been through this show before where his AG turned against him. So my thought process is that if Trump goes and tries to get another person, either that person is not going to be with what MAGA wants, or that person is going to do everything Trump wants. And that now Pam Bondi is the poison that we know. So why take the risk?
I'm going to get back to you guys on that. But she actually, I can't remember what case I'm thinking about. But there's a Trump connection. She like pardoned somebody or did something in Florida. There's some type of a connection there. I'll get back to you guys on it.
Okay. Well, we're going to switch gears, guys. We're going to go to the last topic of the night. We're going to do an update on Iran. We're also going to ask the question, is Trump going to make Iran great again? Today, Trump tweeted out, he said, we're going to MIGA. And this time he was talking about Iran, not Israel, which I thought it was Israel. And then it was like, oh, okay, he's talking about Iran because, MIGA all day. But MIGA all day.
Nigga, man, that's crazy.
MIGA. So we're gonna make Iran great again. But before we MIGA, we're gonna play some Charlie Kirk. We're gonna play some funny clips. We're gonna have a nice time. Let's play this first clip. It's a comedian. We can have a little laugh. This is Tim Dillon.
About Iran since 2001. Iran. And in Long Island, during the Iraq War, when everyone, including me, thought that was a great idea, of course, my defense is that I was 17 and on cocaine. You would bump into people in Dunkin' Donuts, and they would go, yeah, the real problem's Iran. They're going to go into Iran after Iraq. That's where they're going to go, to Iran. Because these people, these gremlins, these creatures that walk the earth, have been filled with the idea that Iran is going to take their Levitt house in Levittown, Long Island. And that in order to stop that, we need a major war. This is what we've sold all these people, by the way. We've sold them this idea that, all of the threats that you're going to encounter in your life are from outside of the country, and it's caves. There are these people in caves plotting to destroy, but they're also really super sophisticated and brilliant, and in caves, but really smart. And they're religious fundamentalists, but also futuristic tech geniuses. And they're able to do all kinds of things, like attack our country. And on the day when NORAD had scrambled all the planes, they picked the exact right moment. It's wild what these people are able to do from a cave. It's really amazing. It is unreal what they're able to pull off from a cave. I mean, because they're all in caves, and they're all plotting to take the things from you. They're going to come in here somehow. Now, you would think, wouldn't it be easy to stop them from coming in here if we just didn't let a lot of people come in, if we tightened up security as to who could come in and who could go? Well, that's silly. We can't do that. It's a global world. So then you go, okay, so then what do we have to do to make sure that no one attacks us? Well, we have to go around the world overturning their governments and convincing them all to love us. Oh, that seems so hard. It seems so much easier to just like make it harder to get into our country. Well, you'd think that, but actually the best course of action is to just go get these people to really love us and appreciate us. And how do we do that? Attack them. We attack them. What? We bomb their homes and families. And then the ones that are left alive realize how benevolent and good we are because we let corporations go in there and do things. Oh, okay. Has this ever worked? No. Right. Okay.
Literally
we got to
never.
keep doing it. Yes. What? For our safety.
Gray, thank you for your service. You were the one on the line that went to the neighboring country of Iraq and you served. On our morning talks, you said Iran is a threat. So I want you to explain to us why Iran is a threat and why this goes against what Tim is saying.
First off, I think you were saying the N word earlier. I'm the darkest person on this panel. So is that what you were trying to do?
I said Migga. Migga.
Y'all caught that, right? Yeah. But let me get back to the
Sounds like it.
Uh-oh.
Listen.
Sorry, not Israel. Iran. Make Iran great again.
Somebody pointed that out to me because months ago I said I'm just gonna move to Italy if the Democrats ever get into power, and I'm gonna start the MIGA. I'm not gonna say it. The MIGA movement of Make Italy Great Again movement, and I said out loud, they're like, do not ever say that again because that sounds exactly what you would think it sounds like.
Yeah.
Oh, well, just putting it out there. I did not say the N-word. I would never say that on the live. But since you're the darkest person on the chat, that's why I let you go first. So tell us now all about why Iran is a threat.
What I said was a comparison to Venezuela to get what I said correctly. You said, oh, I feel like we should take Venezuela more than Iran. I said, no, yes. Iran seems to be has been more of an issue for us over a span of years based on domestic terrorism, based on anti-American rhetoric, when more so Venezuela is more like a money situation. So that was what I was trying to say. I'm not saying that Trump should go in Iran, but Trump was supposed to be this anti-establishment Republican. He looks like a war hawk. Trump just passed Wall Street can't buy housing, cap on credit cards. Those are very liberal left-wing ideas. And so my whole thing is that Trump is just doing everything from everywhere. You can't really put Trump in a box. So he's unpredictable.
That's why you can't put a Trump voter in a box. But you guys, when you guys get your low interest rates, you can thank us. For your 10% cap after only 1 year, you can thank us. But it's okay. We're gonna go on. We're gonna switch to the next topic. This is a young lady. She's Iranian English, British, and she talks about why it's important for Iran to be liberated.
That is a promising sign. If we're going to see Iran change and leadership change, do you believe that the country would be well poised to sort of be reintegrated into the international community?
Yeah, and I tweeted something about this the other day because people talk about this concept of westernization, right? And they forget that the Iranian people, are the descendants of Cyrus the Great, who basically penned the Cyrus Cylinder, and that was the first declaration of human rights in history. And people forget that the Middle East was once considered the cradle of civilization, and so a lot of what we consider, liberal right now, these concepts of human rights, they did originate with people like our ancestors, Cyrus the Great, and so Iran is sort of like a downstream effect of that type of culture and those types of norms. And that's why it's so important to understand that the way that Islamism has been sort of put on Iran, it contradicts our true underlying values. And our underlying values, it's not that we are Western, we are Persian, but our Persian values mirror Western values very closely.
Okay, Kimberly, why did you say that? Because it's interesting you say that. There's someone that I like that does support for Gaza. And she played her clip. So I was like, okay, well, hey, she must be a friend of both sides.
No, I think she's just like super like neocon intervention, like might makes right. And I've seen her before, I think on Pierce Morgan, and she went, I think, up against, if I'm not mistaken, Dave Smith. And some of the points she made, I that's how I remembered her. I was like, oh my God, this is like mask off moment. It was pretty bad. But I'm not going to sit here and defend the Iranian government. I think that all the criticism, not all the criticisms, but a lot of the criticisms that people have of the Iranian government are true. That doesn't mean we should go in there and intervene, because literally since World War II, we've intervened more than, I think, 150 times, and it never bodes well. It always ends worse. And I'm pretty sure everybody here knows about the 1953 Iran coup. We took out.
No, we're gonna play that clip. But
okay,
go ahead.
then let's go ahead and do that
on the show. We've talked about it before on the show, but I always got to take people down memory lane. People don't know Iranian history, but we very much had a hand in why they are in the situation they're at now. We did, Israel did, and the UK did. It was 3 parties involved. It wasn't just, and anyways,
I will say, I'm sure sorry, really quickly, like whenever you hear about or hear from people who are Venezuelan or people who are Iranian, who are the diaspora or immigrants from that country, their criticisms of the authoritarian regimes aren't necessarily wrong. But the answer is never intervention. That's what my criticism is. And if it really was like for democracy, we're friends with Saudi Arabia. Give me a break. We're friends with
and I was telling somebody
we're
that
friends
too,
with
because
Egypt.
she was saying to me, we need to go in there for the women. I said, well, women are treated way worse in Saudi Arabia, if that's how you feel.
That's a
And
literal
I'm gonna play
monarchy.
that
They
tonight.
have
Yes.
0 elections. They're much worse. You won't ever see a protest in Saudi Arabia. They will literally shoot
Never.
you. We're friends with Sisi in Egypt. Like, well, that's a whole other story too. But it's like they always just feed us this propaganda, and people eat it up, and it really makes me sad because it works both ways. It's this is not a Republican issue. It's the Democrats and the Republicans who just feed the war-making machine. It's a very profitable war-making machine. They just increased the freaking military budget too. It breaks my heart.
So, Enzo, are we gonna make Iran great again? What's your thoughts?
I've been following this very, very closely over the last couple weeks since since what we did in Venezuela. There is a very, very, very high possibility within the next 24 to 48 hours, from what I'm seeing, that there will be strikes into Iran, that something will be going on, that it's not a if we go into Iran, if we do something in Iran, it's literally a matter of when. And that's exactly what's going to go down. I'm going to be completely blunt, honest. After I understand the history with the 1953, the coup, the 1979 revolution, I've literally gone down the rabbit hole with this. I agreed when they did the strikes on the nuclear facilities in Iran earlier this year. 100% agree with everything that they did there. I don't care what president was in office. I still would have agreed with that. After finding out that Venezuela was working with the Iranians for drone technology off the coast of the United States, pretty much is right in our backyard, I've been saying it from the beginning. Iran is a state sponsor of terrorism. Yes, we created this monster in the Middle East with certain things that we've done over the last 20, 30, 40 years. Absolutely. But here's the thing. If we don't do anything now, something again is going to happen to us. If they're buddy with our enemies, they're going to get technology from the Russians, from the Chinese. They're going to plan strikes against us, or the Chinese and the Russians will have another ear into the Middle East to corrupt things that are going on there. That's why we have it. That's why Saudi Arabia, Qatar, as well as the Israelis in the Middle East too. Yes, they are not the best countries. Yes, the Saudis have done things. Yes, the Qataris have done things. Yes, the Israelis have done things. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. They're going to keep their enemies close at the end of the day, so we can keep an eye on our actual enemies, our actual adversaries in this world. It is a political chess move, and by just stepping back and not being interventionist is literally going to lead to the demise of the United States, because that's going to give ears into other countries and intel into other countries, build up other countries that are closer to our shores. This is why it needs to be done. I'm not looking at this as Donald Trump's a warmonger. He's looking at the best interest for the United States, no matter what it really is. And with all the strikes that Donald Trump has been doing, that he did in his first term, we see he's not a forever war type person or a forever conflict type person. It's surgical strikes, get shit done, get the fuck out, end of story.
Well, let's see what your hero had to say about it, because up until his death, he was fighting for this not to happen.
States about Israel and Iran and potentially the United States. On one side is the Lindsey Graham, John Bolton types, where they are actively calling for regime change. Here is Lindsey Graham. This is just lunacy. This kind of analysis is not helpful. This kind of approach, this kind of argument, it has nothing to do with nuclear weapons at this point. This is now that we want to go all in and take out the regime. It's time for us to close the chapter on the Iranian Ayatollah and his henchmen and start a new chapter in the Middle East. And that sounds good, doesn't it? But what have we learned when it comes to wars, and especially wars in the Middle East? What you draw up on a whiteboard rarely happens. What you think theoretically is going to occur, there might be unintended and unforeseen consequences, especially when you're talking about a country 2.5 times the size of Texas. It has 90 million people and was an ancient and great power with well over a dozen ethnic groups. You have underground Christians. You don't really have many Jews left in Persia. But also you have secular younger Persians. Who's going to run the country exactly, Lindsey Graham? This sounds like Hillary Rodham Clinton in Libya. So I'm pointing to the first extreme right now, the neoconservative extreme. The we must go take off the head of the snake right now. Play cut 285.
Be all in, President Trump, in helping Israel eliminate the nuclear threat. If we need to provide bombs to Israel, provide bombs. If we need to fly planes with Israel, do joint operations. But here's the bigger question. Wouldn't the world be better off if the Ayatollahs went away and replaced by something better? Wouldn't Iran be better off? It's time to close the chapter on the Iranian Ayatollah and his henchmen. Let's close that chapter soon and start a new chapter in the Mideast, one of tolerance, hope, and peace.
Okay, that sounds good, but that's pathologically insane. I'm sorry, it is. How do you know it's going to be better? Yeah, the Ayatollah is awful, but maybe he's one of the few guys that can keep that country together and not have a 90 million person civil war. Lindsey Graham is so consistently out of his mind, it's hard to even comprehend. Iran is hugely diverse. It is a massive country. Do the people agitating for war even know that? Because be clear, regime change is war. Just to understand, regime change is not like changing the head coach at the Chicago Bears. It's not how it works. It's not like a clean transfer. Typically in the Mideast, it's very messy, creates a quagmire, and then there is civil war. Do you understand how large Iran is? It's massive. It's a very big country. It's mountainous. It makes Afghanistan and Iraq look like a cakewalk. Just look at this beast of a country with all the different regions, all the different dialects, if we could put that up on screen. And then you have a major refugee concern of Mohammedans that will come to Europe and endanger more Christians and Jews, and Mohammedans that will come to America. No, that is wrong. So that is one extreme. The other extreme is one that I have deep respect and reverence for, because I actually think if we had that other extreme, we would not have invaded Iraq. This other extreme is philosophically important. It's important to consider, and that's the Ron Paul extreme. And I love Ron Paul. Ron Paul is awesome. I would have Ron Paul on the show regularly. He is a hero because Ron Paul had the courage to challenge old sacred cows of the Republican Party. He made people defend the indefensible. But the Ron Paul perspective is strictly isolationist. I actually agree with a lot of this other extreme, a lot. I think it's healthy to have this other extreme more than the neoconservative extreme, because this extreme has been underrepresented in the public dialogue and discourse the last 20 years. So you have these two extremes. I honestly don't think the neoconservative extreme needs to be represented philosophically anymore. It's uninteresting to me. They've done a mess of Iraq, Afghanistan, Libya, the entire Middle East, Ukraine. We know what the neoconservatives believe. I do think hearing out, and honestly, I agree with a lot of the more, I think isolationist is used as a pejorative, but let's just say restrained community. Take out the Ayatollah. Resist that temptation. That's not prudence. That's not self-control. That's something else talking. That's a zeal. And that very same zeal got us involved in a pile of garbage in Iraq. It all felt good with shock and awe in March of 2003. We're unstoppable. We're going to take Iraq in a weekend. Turns out, it didn't work that way. A lot of people died. A lot of Americans died unnecessarily.
Oh my God, I might get emotional because Charlie.
I hadn't seen that clip. That is beautiful.
Charlie's not perfect. Let me be clear, but he really, really loved his people. Okay. And I really feel like he was fighting for Americans, because there are multiple people that said before he died, he was very against any intervention into Iran, because he knows that it ain't going to be one bam, thank you, ma'am situation. It's going to be an all-out, drag-out war, because the reality is, Enzo's right. These people hate us, and they will go to the death. And I think he knows that. Gray, as somebody that did serve and you fought, what's your thoughts? Do you think it's going to be easy like Venezuela, or do you think we're going to have a fight going into Iran?
What are you saying, that if Trump puts boots on the ground?
Yeah.
You already seen what happened when we left all that stuff over there. These people, the same way y'all ideologically support what you guys support, they're the same way. They're not just going to lay over and just turn over and give up their stuff. Osama bin Laden, you do know, is like the child of billionaires. He's the version of Trump. Osama bin Laden was not some poor peasant living in the mountains. He was a very wealthy person. And then he was talked to by religious extremists who told him, hey, you're not living the way of Muslims, and we need to get Americans out of this country. And he used his money. Well, it was Russians. And then they used his money to be able to get rid of these people and work with Americans. So when someone believes something philosophically, it's going to be hard to win the battle, even if you are stronger with weaponry, numbers. People fight for what they believe in.
Do you think we're going to be able to go in as clean as we did to Venezuela, or do you think it'll be a bigger fight?
I mean, Venezuela, they took one person. I mean, are you talking about taking like massive amounts of land?
I mean, it seems like maybe he might go take the Ayatollah out. The Ayatollah has killed 2,000 people. And also there is no internet. No updates are coming. They have shut off the internet. That's what's going on right now. We don't know what's happening. Over 2,000 people have been unalived based on the numbers. And I'm hearing numbers upwards of 12,000. So we don't know how many people have been killed. So do you think it's going to be a clean going into Venezuela as Iran, into Iran?
It's not going to be clean because of that clip you played earlier with his name's Tim Dillon, right? Where since JFK, we have tried to go into countries that say we're going to win hearts and minds of the population. You try to win hearts and minds, you try to get these people on your side. In the war that me and Doc then went to, people would pretend to be on your side, then they would grab their family members or whatever, then they come back and then they blow somebody up or they kill somebody, and you just was chilling and talking and hanging out with this guy the other day. That's really what happened with the guy that was over us. RIP to him and the girl. They both got killed by an interpreter because that guy's family was kidnapped the day before. Then you came and then they got killed. It isn't people just meeting up and shooting people. Is way more strategic, way more of a informational CIA type of game. So like that's the issue that we're facing in modern war.
I'm gonna play this clip for Kamal. Kamal, to Gray's point, we're going to answer the question, do they want us there? Let's watch what this woman's doing. Come on here. So you get the idea. Come on. Do they want us there? Do you think we're going to be getting the hearts, the minds of these protesters?
Hell no, they don't want us there. I ain't gonna lie. I was listening to. I'm like, I'm too immature for this shit. Because this shit was reminding me of Aladdin. I ain't gonna lie. The beat was knocking, but I was waiting for the carpet to come out. A Buddha come out and say fuck Trump too. I was just waiting for the bar come out and be like, nah, Trump my sidekick. Get your asses back in line. I was waiting for all of that, you feel me? But there will not be making of no niggas. You feel me? no nigga making will be happening. We saw them burning the hell out them pictures. I'm surprised they didn't burn the flag. That mean
they burned the flag.
Oh, I thought they burnt the flag.
Or maybe they don't have the United States flag there. That's a good point. Come on, I haven't seen them burn flags this whole week.
Well, it could be illegal to have American.
Right. Well, I couldn't find any clips.
Oh, okay.
They don't got no flag. Grado, you right about Osama bin Laden being rich, because I heard he had a golden toilet in his cave.
He was very rich.
So you gotta be hella rich to have plumbing in the cave. Like how does that happen? You gotta have money. You right, bro. Billionaire.
Well, this next clip shows what it's like to be a woman, because people, we'll see what it looks like. She's shopping in the mall, and I'll let Kimberly speak as a woman.
Hi everyone, this is Syrian Girl and I'm shopping in Iran's capital Tehran with a beautiful Iranian guide just to show how much propaganda there is about women's life here to promote regime change. So hop in friends, we're going shopping. We're in Iran. It's really cool. Let's go to the store that has music. Yeah. I love music. Yeah, is it this one?
I love how she did show.
What do you think of this shopping center? It's kind of... Is it the best one? No, not really. It's not. It's a bit busy. Not the best, but it's cheap. It's a cheap bazaar store.
So Kimberly, oh, she's gone. Sorry. What is your thoughts on the clip? Do you think that women are oppressed? Like, what have you heard about the women there? That clip was to show what it's like to go shopping at an Iran mall, to show how advanced they are. They're not as bad a shape as South Korea or some of the North Korea or some of those other places, but they are struggling financially.
Oh, okay. Sorry, it said my laptop needed to be charged.
Oh,
I
yeah.
see what you mean, that how she's trying, like it was intentional.
Mm-hmm.
You know, propaganda works both ways to the benefit of the state. Any state, not just the United States. So I can see what you mean by that. And so the Ayatollah is a repressive regime. Are you going to show a clip about the 1953 coup?
Yeah, I'll play the history as the last clip.
Yeah, but basically, a lot of the neocons, and just, I mean, which would include like the Hillarys of the world, they want to reinstall the Shah, which is a monarchy, which would not necessarily be better for Iran. And like I said earlier, like with Venezuela too, I'm not going to defend Maduro. I'm not going to defend the Ayatollah. It is repressive. I'm sure there's some truth to that video. I'm sure it was also intentional what they were trying to show on there, just trying to be like objective, right? And similarly to how you saw some people that were Venezuelan expats, there are Iranian expats that would be happy to see that regime gone, that are happy to see Maduro gone. But again, I'm just going to fall back to intervention. Intervention does not work. The Libya example is a very good example. A lot of people who are a lot smarter than me are thinking that it's going to be another Libya situation where Libya is still a failed state, and it's very sad, and people die. Even just with the capture of Maduro was quick and it was fast. No, it wasn't. A lot of people died. It never is. And if you have to kill people in order to get more resources, more money, hegemony, power, control, it's completely antithetical to the Christian beliefs that my conservative friends espouse to have.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's good points that you bring up, but I'm going to play the history and then I'll let Enzo go and then we're going to do our closing thoughts, everyone. So everyone watching, please hit the like button. Let's get the likes up, tap the screen. We are also accepting super chats if you have something you want to ask us.
Here to tell you what is going on in Iran and why you should be paying attention. Hint, because it is a very familiar story. Most people believe that the story of Iran begins in 1979 with the Islamic Revolution, but our story actually goes much further back. It begins with the Red-Green Alliance, the alliance of the far-left Marxists with the far-right Islamists. Their union not only destroyed Iran, that ideology infected the West. That is why I say Iran is not the past. Iran is a warning of what happens when that ideology goes unchecked, and I'm about to tell you. So let's go back in time for a few short seconds. How did socialism make its way to Iran? A lot of people don't know this, but the Soviets actually entered Iran in the early 1920s and annexed a northern part of its territory, turning it into a socialist state. Well, like all other socialist states, it was obviously doomed to fail, and fail it did. But that wasn't before the Marxist ideology went underground in Iran, infecting Iranian textbooks, academic life, education, and the intellectual elite. But most importantly, what did this Marxist ideology teach young Iranians? It taught them that the West was their enemy and it was their moral duty to fight Western imperialism. This is what I call the Great Lie. Why? Because it was never about fighting the West or even making Iran a better place. It was about using our lands as a revolutionary launchpad for their communist dreams. Then came the turning point. In the 1960s, the Shah introduced the White Revolution. That was a modernization project. It increased women's rights, women's suffrage, education, literacy, land reforms, industrial expansion. It was supported by the Iranian people by referendum. But guess who rejected it? Of course, the Red-Green Alliance. They said that that type of modernization was westernization, and that couldn't happen in Iran. That was when the Marxists and the Islamists began setting fire to everything. That's why they set fire to Rex Cinema famously, because they said cinemas were a symbol of westernization. That movement eventually led to the 1979 revolution that overthrew the Shah and ushered in the Islamic regime. And who, pray tell, was the leader of this revolutionary movement? Ayatollah Khomeini. Like every practitioner of the Great Lie, he mastered borrowing Marxist language to promise free everything. Free water, free education, free healthcare, free housing, free transportation. Well, Iranians discovered very soon thereafter, turns out there's no such thing as a free lunch. It was, of course, a gigantic grift. What came next? We've all seen. A Handmaid's Tale style totalitarian theocracy. Hanging, lynching, shooting, blinding, people just asking for basic human rights. And who were the very first people to be executed as soon as that regime came to power? The same leftists that ushered them in, convinced of the great lie. Now, almost 50 years later, after multiple attempts, this is what the Iranian people are rising up to free themselves from. And it is very important to pay attention to exactly what they're chanting. They're not just saying down with the dictator. They're saying in akharin nabarde Pahlavi barmigarde. What does that mean? It means this is the last battle, then Pahlavi will return. Why? Because Reza Pahlavi is the son of the last Shah who they ousted because of the great lie. The Iranian people will choose their own future by referendum, but before they move forward, they must correct the mistakes of the past. They are calling for Reza Pahlavi as a closing of the karmic loop, a symbolic return to the Iranian civilization that we once knew before we move into an even greater future.
That's what I was
why you should
thinking.
be paying attention to Iran, because Iran is not history. Iran is a warning. They are not just in the aftermath of tyranny, they are in the aftermath of the great lie. And that lie is here on our doorsteps.
Oh man, so we about to be sending some boys over there to make Iran great again. All right, Enzo, now you heard your heroes what he had to say. Shout out to Charlie Kirk. Now that you have that context, should we make Iran great again? Are we gonna go, it ain't gonna be easy. I'm telling you, this is not Venezuela. I'm telling you, this is not Venezuela. What do you think?
Agreed. I know it's not gonna be like Venezuela. It's not gonna be like anything Trump has done before. Sorry, I'm gonna disagree with Charlie. When he was talking about that was when we were only going after the nuclear sites in Iran. Now we have all this other stuff, like I said, from what happened in Venezuela, that we know that Venezuela was helping out with Iran's nuclear capabilities, their drone capabilities, that they're all partnered with China as well as Russia. I agree with what we did in Venezuela, cutting off the oil flow to Russia as well as China. I agree by going into Iran that we're going to be able to control this entire situation. You have two major adversaries to the United States that are plotting against us with the help of Iran, with the help of Venezuela, with the help of other countries in our hemisphere. Obviously, the United States, as well as all the other countries that are in talks with everything that's going on with Iran, not even just Israel, they have intelligence on the ground that they're going to go with. Obviously, something is going on in Iran for this to be popping off right after it happened in Venezuela. So all the dominoes are literally playing right into each other with this. There's a lot more that we as American citizens don't know about, that we will not know about for 20 to 30 years from now. I agree with what's going on because, again, I'm looking at this as China's not going to be able to go into Taiwan by taking the oil in Venezuela and taking away another country in the Middle East. They're not going to be able to go after the Americans or any of our allies in the Middle East or plan anything towards Europe, because no one's ever going to attack the United States head on. They're going to go to our proxies. They're going to take out everybody else to try to get to us, to try to drag us into something. I'm looking at it as precautionary actions so we don't lead to a full-blown world war, that we can bring our major adversaries to their knees without even firing a shot in their direction by taking out their proxies before they can do it to us. So this needs to be done. Let's just hope it's not a drawn-out conflict is what I will agree to. If it turns into that, then I'll sit here and say I was completely wrong about everything. But who knows?
All right, guys, we're gonna start our closing thoughts. I'm gonna let ladies go first. Kimberly, will we make Iran great again?
Sadly, as history has proven, no, and especially not if they put the Shah back in there. I'm gonna find you guys a clip of Jeffrey Sachs explaining the 1953 coup and everything that happened thereafter. Whenever there's a conflict in the world, rule of thumb, if the United States is involved, that's the bad side. And that's not to say that there are not other bad sides, but the United States government is the biggest, worst bully in the whole fucking world. So we always make everything worse because we want total control and hegemony. And in the 60s, with the whole nuclear scare, there was this nuclear mutually assured destruction, which is not something that is good. That basically means that we're just going to blow each other up to smithereens. That's what we're headed to. And all these countries all over the world, when they see that the United States doesn't fuck with North Korea, and it won't fuck with other countries that have nuclear weapons, at least not directly, like with Venezuela and Iran, then that leads other countries to think, oh, that's the only way we can get them not to mess with us, is if we have nuclear weapons too. We're creating enemies everywhere, all the time. It makes us less safe. It's expensive. It's counterproductive. And again, it's like completely antithetical to any of the Christian beliefs that at least Donald Trump espouses to have. And I believe in full denuclearization, just for the record. I'm not saying that that all countries should have nuclear weapons, but that's how other countries think. And but yeah, I will, like I said, Jeffrey Sachs is really good with foreign policy. Glenn Greenwald did a really good episode the other day. Dave Smith, really good. Abby Martin has this podcast called The Empire Files, solid. When it comes to, like I said, foreign policy, rule of thumb, the United States, probably not the good side. And we should always at least look at everything in a more critical lens and be able to think of for ourselves and not just this garbage that they're feeding us through different forms of propaganda.
Wow. Kamal, what's your closing thoughts? Should we make Iran great again?
I don't think we're gonna be making any niggas anytime soon, to be honest. We saw how they was burning the hell out them Trump pictures, man. I ain't gonna lie. I thought I heard one of them said "Death to America" or some shit. I heard it faintly in the back. Shit. Anyway, like you said, Nora, it ain't gonna be easy if we try to go in Iran and try to stir up some shit and do some war type of stuff, you know. But Pam Bondi, most definitely a DEI hire. She should be fired. How come you ain't arrest nobody? That's terrible. God damn. We also talked like briefly about what happened to the lady, to the ICE agent. You know, just comply. You won't die. Shout out to everybody on the new party. Everybody got their own YouTube, their own TikTok channels. I'll be on Enzo Live sometimes. It'll be funny as hell. Kimberly, check out her Instagram. Also, I got pinned to the top of my chat, the new party. Y'all make sure y'all sub to them and also hit the notification bell. On my end, Kamal Johnson Network. Y'all can come over there. I go live 3 days out the week. Also, hit me with a like and also hit that notification bell so you know when I go live. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Y'all was cool. Y'all was funny. The one patriotic dude, patriotic watcher, boy, that was the most unfunniest joke I ever heard in my goddamn life. He was like, "Yo, the dude with the sunglasses got a fungal infection." Boy, if you don't shut the hell up and tell your mama stop sucking your dog from the back. Anyway, everybody else have a great night. There will not be no niggas being made. You know, it ain't happening. Making Iran great again, highly doubt it. Shit, at this point.
Oh, Lord. Enzo, will we make Iran great again?
I don't know if we're going to make Iran great again, but we're going to put America first and American values first. We're going to do what we need to do to protect Americans at the end of the day. And if that's going into Iran to keep Russia and China and all these other countries that are planning our downfall, that we share mutual destruction with, if we can take away their capabilities from taking us out without going into direct conflict with them, I'm on board. And it doesn't matter who's in office to do that. I will stand behind whatever president. If Kamala Harris was in office and this was her plan to go into Iran and to take down Russia as well as China strategically, I'll stand with her. Might not agree with 99.9% of things that she would do, but that's one thing that I would agree with, is because at the end of the day, we need to take care of ourselves domestically as well as foreign, to make sure nothing happens to Americans. And that's what I voted for with Donald Trump. And that's what I'm happy he's doing, that he's actually putting us on the world stage in the way that we need to be on the world stage, that we will not be fucked with, that if you try to fuck with us, that's going to be the end of you. We need peace through strength is exactly what Donald Trump is doing. And again, is what I voted for and I'm happy with. And I want to see this through to the end. And I hope I'm right about everything that I'm saying. I have been with a lot, especially with the attack or with what happened in Iran earlier this year. We thought that was going to turn into World War VII, and I was right that it wasn't. So I'm hoping I keep on that track, especially with Iran. This will be 2 for 2 if I'm right. So let's have a little faith in this administration. I know a lot of people won't, but I have full faith behind Donald Trump as well as our Department of War and Pete Hegseth to actually do what's right to get this done the correct way. With all that being said, it was great. See everybody on Thursday.
I gotta say something real quick. Enzo disagreed with Charlie Kirk and said he would agree with Kamala Harris. Skeptic would be proud. God damn, where's Skeptic?
Listen, that's the good thing about me. I'm not going to agree with somebody to 100% T, because once you start believing 100% into somebody, that is when you're in a cult. You don't think for yourself. You just believe whatever they say like it's the gospel.
I can appreciate that.
Yeah, I can too. Gray, you were the lone Democrat on the panel tonight. What's your closing thoughts?
So we asked about Pam Bondi. Why did we ask about Kristi Noem being fired? Because she's the one.
Hold up. Enzo, you want to answer that? You want to fire Kristi Noem? What you think?
No, I think Kristi Noem's doing a good job.
Me too.
I'm going to be honest.
Well, she's the one.
The thing is, if Pam Bondi cracked down on these protesters acting crazy, ICE would be getting more of these people up out of here.
It has to do with Pam Bondi. She's the one that would put these indictments on these people for attacking the police officers, not Kristi Noem. Kristi Noem can refer them to the Justice Department, but Kristi Noem can't prosecute or bring it to court.
For me, Kristi Noem, these are her people, and she was the one on CNN. I don't know if you have the clip, and they asked her. They said, "What are we supposed to think? Like the government is doing this?" And then she says, "You can't trust the government." And it was Jack Taper. He says, "Well, you are the government." And then she says, "Well, that's exactly what I mean." So this is her officer. She's the one over ICE. I would think that we should ask her first, because Pam Bondi has to go through the line. People have a right to a jury. They have a right to go to court. So that takes a lot of time. And I don't feel like it's her fault that these cases aren't necessarily being brought. Like once someone's been arrested and then they go to court, then she fights the case. I'm not saying that she necessarily is doing a great job, but I don't think she's doing a horrible enough job to get fired. Like we always say, a new party, always vote.
Oh Lord. Okay. Well, Gray has to be the dissenting voice tonight. But Pam Bondi's time as Attorney General has shown why accountability at the highest level of government matters, guys. Under her leadership, the Department of Justice has become a site of growing controversy and concern. Critics across all political spectrums, as you could see tonight, we had everyone from the far left to the far right. Well, I don't want to say far right, but left to the right tonight. And we all agreed she needed to go, except for Gray. Civil rights groups, former DOJ prosecutors, and even commentators who normally support law enforcement have raised serious questions about her commitment to impartial justice and the rule of law. Many believe that instead of serving all Americans equally, the DOJ under Bondi has too often reflected political loyalties and priorities over fairness and constitutional principles. So yeah, I mean, people are angry with her. I don't think she's going far enough with getting these protesters, but there are people that say she's going too far. Go figure. But nevertheless, in a democracy, the public must be able to trust that law enforcement institutions operate without political interference and unwavering fidelity to the Constitution. When that trust erodes, whether through perceived politicization, mismanagement, or leadership that appears more loyal to the party than to justice, citizens have every right to demand change. This is why I believe Pam Bondi should be removed from her role, not out of partisan spite, but of genuine concern that the Department of Justice must be steered back towards credibility, independence, and the protection of all Americans' rights. Also, the protection of our ICE and police officers. At the same time, the same principle of accountability and caution informs my stance on a U.S. involvement in Iran. Guys, this is not going to be like Venezuela. I oppose deepening military engagement abroad, not out of isolationism, but out of fear that we will put our troops at harm's way, out of fear that this carries too great of a cost of devastating human costs. I care about everyone around the world. I care about our troops first, obviously, but I care about human lives in other countries. And I also think it distracts from pressing problems at home. We got our own issues, guys. We have kids that are starving. We have kids that can't read. I would rather we put the money towards that than towards going and solving the world's problems. In particular, a country 3,000-4,000 miles away doesn't affect us. For me, it seems like it's going to help our greatest ally, and I'll leave it at that. But anyways, guys, nevertheless, I appreciate you guys coming tonight. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you come back tomorrow night. The Man Cave will be on. And Thursday night, we will be back here. We will be making America laugh again.
Poll numbers.
Oh, what's the poll numbers?
Come on, can you see it? You muted.
I don't think he can see it. But guys, while he's looking it up, we will be back here Thursday night. We will be making America laugh again. It's time we have a funny night. We're going to have jokes on the left, jokes on the right. Everybody going to be laughed at, okay? You know, it's time we have a funny night. Yes, what's the poll numbers?
It was actually kind of even, to be honest. It was 53% said yes, 47% said no.
Yay, she's fired.
So, slightly majority rules. We're a democracy. 53% of our fans who represent all sides want Pam Bondi out. So there you go. But anyways, guys, we also have a fundraiser. Please support our fundraiser. We're going to play the outro clip. It explains it. We are doing a cast meet up in person in Orlando coming in April. So guys, if you want in real life content, we got a lot of big things coming. Please give to the Cash App or the GoFundMe. We never ask for anything, but we are trying to make this trip great, make it great for our castmates. So please support. God bless. Good night and stay safe.
Family, we want to take a moment and speak directly to you. What we're building here with the new party is more than just content. It's more than commentary. It's a community, a space for independent voices, honest conversations, and people who are tired of being talked at instead of talked with. Right now, we're raising funds for something very special. Our new party, Castrith. An in-real-life content experience coming April 2026. This trip allows us to bring the team together in person. Many of us who have only worked virtually to create real, high-quality, independent media. Media that isn't funded by corporations. Media that isn't controlled by political parties. Media that answers only to the people. Our goal is $5,000, and every dollar goes directly toward hotel accommodations for the team, food and travel necessities, studio and production space, so we can bring you even better content. Your donation isn't just helping us travel, it's helping us continue. It's helping us stay independent. It's helping us grow. And it's helping us build something that lasts. Right. By the end of this year, our dream is to host a watch party, bringing the team together and opening the doors to the public. Donations like this make that possible. They help turn an online movement into a real-world community. We truly look forward to meeting all of you one day. But for now, we're incredibly excited to finally meet each other, to strengthen this team, too, and to bring you even more meaningful, powerful content. If you believe in independent media, if you believe in community over corporations, if you believe voices like ours deserve a seat at the table, please consider donating to our GoFundMe, becoming a member, or supporting us by buying merch. No contribution is too small. From the bottom of our hearts, thank you for believing in us, for rocking with us, and for helping the new party continue to grow. We couldn't do this without you.